Now, we watched the games last weekend on TV, and the atmosphere seemed pretty electric. Players were out there balling out of control and some high-level action. What was it like being in the stadium opening night?
You know, it was really good, Marcellus. It was one of those situations where with the weather, we weren't really sure exactly what we were going to get on Saturday night. We got a little bit lucky. The weather broke for us. To see the lines that were there, to see the upper deck get filled up, we were hoping to maybe be able to cover the sides. We actually got the end zone filled as well on the north end of the stadium. So everything went beyond our expectations on opening night. And now we just got to see what happens the second weekend. The curiosity factor is obviously going to be there opening weekend. But now how do we sustain that moving forward through the course of the season? So I'm really excited to see what happens this weekend. We've got great weather this weekend. And then really as we move forward, weeks 4, weeks 5, what are those stadiums going to look like as we try to push into the second half of the season?
Moose, good to see you, brother. You look good, man. You look good. You look in shape, like you could take on a mill backer or two.
Like you.
Moose, now we know this much. Any league, let alone a brand new league, it needs stars. It needs storylines. It needs players that fans can latch on to. Talk to us about the stars that we should look out for. Any players we should look out for in week 2?
I was really impressed with our safeties across the board on every team. Some big hits coming from the secondary, and then also in coverage. So I think if I was to go by position, what position really jumped out at me last week, it would be the safety position. I thought that was really, really well played defensively by the pairings on all 8 teams. The wide receivers, we started off in that Birmingham, New Jersey game with a couple of really nice catches down the field and in one-on-one situations. A really, really good touchdown catch, to kind of kick everything off on a big hit. So, I thought that was my concern coming in because our rosters are small. So there was not a lot of contact at training camp. So just all the details that come without really having that physical component to practice. What was the ball security going to be like? What was the interior blocking going to be like? What was the tackling going to be like? And I was very pleasantly surprised by all of that. So that's a credit to our coaches. But there's a guy in Houston that I've really liked through this whole process, Mark Thompson. He's a big running back. We've got a lot of those traditional scat backs, those third down type backs, but Mark is really kind of the one big thumper that's in our league. Carlo Kemp off the edge, maybe a guy that doesn't have NFL measurables, but he's just a good, all around football player. So that'll be the areas I'm looking at probably this week and really kind of dial in a little bit more on the offensive and defensive lines. That was one of the areas when we came in on March 22nd and really kind of got everybody together for the first time. I was really impressed, by the size of some of the guys coming through, the process of onboarding and everything. Some really nice looking guys when you talk about that physical stature in the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah, well, going into the season, there was a ton of hype about the product on the field and seeing the games and the players, but also some of the unique technological advancements that we've seen out there. What do you think hit after you saw the games and the actions in week 1?
From a technology standpoint and what we're doing for the viewer at home, I think one of the big things, and I think it's a challenge for both Fox and NBC, is there's so many things to choose from. Which camera angles do you use? Which one of these new components do you try to add? The helmet cam that we're seeing right there. The audio has been outstanding. I think that's one of the things when you talk to the people in production, as good as we are with getting the video from the drone, from the Steadicam and the access we're providing there. The audio was something that everybody was really, really excited about. The first down marker that you're showing seems to be, the crowd favorite every time, we do one of our controlled scrimmages. Then on opening night, everybody talked about, the 10-yard down marker and really, really like that. From the rule standpoint, I was a little disappointed last week that we didn't have a 3-point attempt after a touchdown, that nobody tried the 4th and 12. If you felt like your offense was really kind of hitting on all cylinders, I'd love to see the teams this weekend maybe dip into some of those opportunities where we've provided them some different rules and take advantage of that during the course of the game.
Oh, let me follow up on the rules because, everyone was excited going into it, waiting for an overtime game so they could go out there and see the new rules format in the overtime. You said you were disappointed by the rules, but which one had a tremendous impact?
Yeah, that was, if I was to say which one that did I think played a real big role in week one, I would say it's what we've done with our kickoff. We've moved our kickoff back to the 25. We do kind of stagger that zone. We have, we require at least 8 to be, in that buffer zone. What it's done is it's really brought the kickoff return back into the game, which I really miss. As a kid growing up, I mean, it was Billy White Shoes Johnson, bringing the punt returns and the kick returns back. It's a Pro Bowl position, and we're kind of losing about half of that production because we're not getting any kickoff returns anymore. So that was one of the things that I was really excited about, that not only did we have the kickoff return on almost every kickoff, but we also didn't have any injuries on that play. And that's going to be one of the big things. We've been in conversation with the NFL and what we're doing on that kickoff, because I think that they realize as well, we have to continue to make this play as safe as we possibly can, but we don't want to get to the point where we're not having that kickoff return element, because it's such an opportunity for the big returns and the big plays that can really shift the momentum of a game.
Now, Moose, before we let you go, tell us about how the USFL is connecting with NASCAR this weekend.
Yeah, Saturday night is NASCAR night. I'm going down to Talladega tomorrow morning to be with the Fox and Friends weekend crew, and I can't wait. That's definitely a bucket list thing for me. When you talk about all the different sports and the venues that you can go around the country, Talladega Speedway is one of the ones that I've always wanted to get to. So I'm going to get to go down there tomorrow, and then we're going to have a couple of NASCAR drivers with us tomorrow night. A couple of guys that finished in the top 10 in Bristol the week before. So we're really excited. They're going to have the cars up here. So we know that football is important in the state of Alabama, and we also know that NASCAR is big, not only in Alabama, but down in the South. So we're pairing those together on Saturday night, and really excited, for what that's going to do for us, from an attendance standpoint, and hopefully, we increase from last week. We've got the weather, we've got NASCAR night on Saturday. Hopefully we get over 30,000 fans to come out and join us on Saturday evening.
Oh, it's going to be great, man. Can't wait. We'll be watching this weekend. Thanks for joining us, Moose. Always wanted to do this. Moose! My man.